from a decentralized location. This is the Crypto Effect.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Effect. I want to talk a little bit today about Bitcoin and its new all-time highs. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We've gotten pushed back so many times, and finally Bitcoin hits 60,000, actually topping off at 61,300, 400 now, close to. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and then we can get into some of the trends that are going to be happening and what I expect for the future of Bitcoin. So let's take a look real quick here at where Bitcoin's at. Currently sitting at $61,374. This is my pitchfork chart that I made about 3 months ago, and really Bitcoin has been trending on this for quite some time, pretty spectacularly. We've hit ever since last year after Bitcoin hit its all-time lows. This was around the time of the stimulus checks. So you can see where I marked here. The stimulus checks came out around March of last year, I think, with them finally actually reaching individuals in the beginning of April. So around March of last year, Bitcoin dropped down to some of its all-time lows for quite some time over the last couple of years, down to $3,600, $3,700. And then from there, trending up. By the time that people hit their stimulus checks around April, you can see April 8th, we started seeing a new type of trend. We kind of expected this from Bitcoin to kind of continue up in this way, but it kind of moved up, and then we saw this really big jump right here around April 30th. And then a continuation, small dip here, but then a pretty streamlined continuation of the chart. And then after that, we see around July, during the summer, new highs coming in, and then it pumps up here. And then after it reaches this dip right here, this is pretty much when things change forever. Now, if we were to stay on the trend line of what we've normally seen, or what we were seeing from the pandemic charts, we would have stayed along this yellow line right here. So this is the pandemic trend of where it was heading, and we came below that here during the summer and then into the winter. But right here it spiked up and then never to come back down again, I guess you could pretty much say. Coming up here to around 19,000, dropping down here. So this was kind of a breakout chart right here. And we saw this dip, and then immediately coming back up to where it was, but never falling below that breakout trend line again. So after it dropped down to 17,000 for the second time, it continued upwards with big jumps around December, and then a continuation. So I broke out my pitchfork chart here after some of the trends that we've been seeing over the last 8 months or so, year, and we're seeing some pretty interesting trends from breakout lows. So we saw a huge dip here in January where it dropped down to 29,000, 27,000, and then it broke out and jumped up again. So this is a continuation of what we've been seeing. We hit some new lows, and then it goes up to new highs. And then another breakout low here, and then another high. But I want to point out right here, we saw this trend here. We're at 32,000. It bottomed out. Hitting an all-time new low around January 31st into February. Now we saw some pretty huge spike right here at a high level. Now this is where I believe actually Tesla probably started purchasing Bitcoin. And then when it went public, you can see right here, it was just a straight shot up. So billions of dollars were starting to enter in whenever Tesla announced that they were purchasing around 39,000. This spiked up to over 43, and then we've seen new trends from that point forward. So if you look at my pitchfork chart here, if you pay attention to the red line right here, these are pretty much where new bottoms are going to enter out. So if we continue along the same trends that we've been seeing over the last year, this red line should present where the new bottoms are. We shouldn't really see much below that, just with the amount of purchasing that's been going on in Bitcoin. So we did shoot up after Tesla bought. We did shoot up over here to over 58,000, and then coming back down to the new red line around 43, and that was a pretty new low right there. Coming back up, then we have this new second low after the Tesla breakout trend of around 42. I actually entered in and around this position again at 42,000. But after that bottom right there, we have continued to reach new breakouts, now reaching to the all-time high that we're seeing right now of over 61,000. I've seen it float between 60 and 62 and a half or something like that over the all day today. So we are seeing that, and just as we jumped over this purple line, we continue to see this purple section here. It's hard to stay above that. So just like we saw here, we did see it reach out on this new trend line here, where it reached above the purple, and then it came dropping way down to its new lows. So there is some expectancy of that. I would kind of expect that this is going to reach up into maybe the 62, 63, and then we're probably going to see a new trend back down a little bit. But even with that, with the charts, that's been pretty accurate on this pitchfork. We haven't seen it drop much below this red line here. So this kind of shows where the new bottoms are going to be. So, over the next like 3 weeks to a month or so, I wouldn't expect the new low to get below 48,000. So anything pretty much between the 48,000 and the 60,000 mark, you're probably going to be getting in with a net profit over the next year for sure.